There's really only two reasons you're going to see bucks fighting in the wild. One is for breeding rights, obviously, or dominance over does. And the other reason that you'll see them fighting is in food plots, especially early in the season. And as you get even later in the season, mature bucks in particular will likely run a lot of the younger bucks off of the food sources as you get into the late season. The time that I'm most effective with the antlers is during that peak of the rut, or the time when there's that challenging that's happening, or the hierarchy being established within the deer herd itself and the area that you're at. So for me, the majority of my calling, or the most effective times that I use antlers, are coming into the last week of October here in the Midwest, and then going into the first few weeks of November. I have had some moderate success in the late season, but for the most part, the upper age class bucks are most respondent during that time period. So for me, I'm trying to achieve the maximum volume that I can, because I want to reach out as far as I can and reach whatever deer may be out a long distance, or even the deer that are in the short distance. When you notice bucks are fighting, for the most part this time of the year, it's not generally like a tickling of the antlers that's happening. So when you watch videos with me, you'll usually see me being pretty aggressive with the antlers. It's been my experience being real light with them, doesn't generally call much in. And when you watch a lot of those deer in the early season and late season that are fighting over food plots, for the most part, you're not seeing a lot of other bucks come running into that. So I'm pretty aggressive with my antlers, and to get that volume that I need to get, that's one of the biggest reasons why I choose the black racks, is because I can get that volume by twisting and turning and jamming the antlers and making a combination of those. So it looks a lot like this. I'll also use this quite a bit whenever I actually have a deer coming into range. And the times that I choose to use these antlers are whenever that deer's approaching me and he can't see me, meaning there's a big tree in front of me. Most of our sets are set up, even with a camera guy, we've got big trees in front of us. And that allows us to maneuver around with the camera and with us as deer are approaching. And we'll rattle a lot of times with a deer being under 100 yards from us, and to get them to come in that last little bit of distance. So you want to make sure you want to keep your movement to a minimum once they get within range. If you watch deer in the wild, for the most part, the only time there's a real slam that occurs is when they first run into one another. So that sound is really created with the top portion of the antlers whenever I hit them together like that. And that also will carry the loudest and the longest distance throughout the timber. But it's the twisting motion that actually sets the realism, and that's really what these racks do that a set of antlers that you pick up or a set of sheds that you find just simply can't. It's the twisting motion. That's a convincing sound that a deer needs to hear over a long distance or a short distance to make him know and think that there are other bucks fighting in the area.